It's time for our listener Q&A. We got one this time around. By the way, become a member of our Discord or Facebook page. Discord, both of them are in the description below on YouTube, actually, and send us some questions. And that's all you have to do, and we'll try to answer them to the best of our ability. Like the one this week comes from Andrew Schroy. He says, with the exception of Family Game Night, why did the Hubs, or rather Hasbro Studios game shows in general, end after just a season? Now, he's talking about Picturica, The Game of Life, and Scrabble Showdown. Now, Picturica was the first one to come out alongside Family Game Night, and was kind of like a mix of win, lose, or draw, the Penguins.
It was the Picturica Penguin.
Yeah.
I still have the theme song. Picturica, find it fast, find it first. It's Picturica, let the games begin. If you don't find it first, then you're not gonna win. Time to start the Picturica show. Are you ready?
No.
Oh, okay.
And apparently Picturica is on Tubi TV.
You said we can watch Picturica right now.
Mm-hmm. But this is not the show to do that. Like, here's when it started. It lasted about 40 or so episodes, or 65 episodes between October 11th, 2010 and January 17th, 2011.
I mean, it was not that bad of a kids show, but like, I don't think it didn't last that long because it started when the network started.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of people had the Hub. They really, now I think about it, the Hub really didn't really catch off until My Little Pony and the Brony culture kind of swept it.
Which was 2011.
So, and like they had like reruns of like they had like I think a G.I. Joe cartoon. I think Hasbro properties. A Mr. Potato Head show.
Mm-hmm.
I think they had a lot of NBC Kids shows. I think the Endurance rerun was there a few times.
Oh yeah. By the way, the Aquabots did the theme song, and they were kind of big during that time period.
So it sounds to me. Oh, you know what? I found out the other game show that's not a Hub but did debut. Before the show when I got the question, we were only going by the Hasbro properties. Chop Jr. started as a Hub.
Started in the Hub, okay.
But that has the only officially... show. So, but that lasted, and then they moved it to the Food Network.
Yeah, and so it's still going. They have it during the summer, so we'll just focus on. So we'll talk about that later. Picturica, I think, too busy.
Too busy. It was a nice little show, but it was too early. And plus, it didn't really get the appeal. It's kind of like the modern Beat the Clock reboot. It kind of existed and then kind of fizzled out because there were a lot of other family game shows at the time, even in 2010s.
Yeah, because Family Brain Surge was happening at the time as well.
Family Brain Surge hit. That was also when what was it? The Wipeout craze was crazy big. Also, that was when kids games. I think that was also. Wasn't that also when Cartoon Network did their Sing and Reel, and that had Brain Rush and Destroy Build Destroy?
And Hole in the Wall. No, that was a couple years earlier.
Because I was thinking those would have probably knocked out this too. Plus, also it was a new station. No one really had the cable subscription package to get the Hub.
Right.
So Picturica too early. It was too early. I like it. I like Picturica.
Mm-hmm.
The final round had similar to was similar almost to like Finders Keepers, which I kind of liked. What's next? What's next of the shows you want to go with?
The Game of Life, and I could answer that right away why it didn't last, because the game sucked.
It wasn't the Game of Life.
No.
If your only thing from the Game of Life is the wheel,
Mm-hmm.
it's not the Game of Life.
No. And the format was hideously broken.
Which part? The wheel itself being the decider? Is it the mini game? Is it the card game where you have to answer trivia questions behind the green screen?
The card game was the decider, because in the first episode, and I have this recorded on DVD, one team acted just as fast as the other team and only got 4 questions, while the other team got 5, and they were never able to break ahead of that 500-point lead.
Do you think they tried to intentionally just to not make a tie going in round 2?
Mm-hmm. And it was a terrible green screen style show. Especially that car round. It was not fun to watch.
Because if I'm thinking Game of Life, I think the PlayStation video game, or the PC one, the one that has those little mini games associated. But also, like, if you're doing Game of Life, shouldn't it be like fun professions? Kids aspire to be this. Like, if I was going to do a Game of Life, wouldn't it be like it's the doctor episode, the teacher episode, the vet episode, the athlete episode? Then you create questions and games around that.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the final round, the bonus game, you create some, because it's a family game show, you get to decide between different prizes, kind of like the What Would Your Kid Do show, and then your parents have to guess what you predict, because that's the twist and turns aspect of which decision do you want. Do you want to go, do you want the skateboard or the bicycle? Do you want the PlayStation or the computer?
And then the grand prize, you still have that big wheel.
Yes.
And what you don't do for the bonus game is make it like the freaking Newlywed Game.
You don't. You the only Newlywed Game I said is what would your son pick as the prize? Like, that would be the only thing.
Yeah.
But that's like the consolation to get to the final round.
Yeah.
Also make fake money. Also fake money. Don't do like 50 points. Game of Life gives away like $1 million. But you don't give away $1 million. You say 1 million points or 500,000 points.
Mm-hmm. It was just produced badly.
It's the wheel. And the set too. I hate to say the set. It's too dark.
Yeah. And then we get to Scrabble Showdown.
So, it's the
problem with Scrabble Showdown is Justin Willman sucks as a host.
Hey, Cupcake Wars is his finest work.
And it's still bad.
It's for Scrabble Showdown, it's not Scrabble the game show. So there's no puns. There's no he has the it's a long night out weekend, like things like that don't exist. Also, it's the scoring of Scrabble in the final round. And it's I have to point out the fact that Scrabble Flash is used.
Yep. Which
is also from the family game night, so it's kind of just a rehash.
Mm-hmm.
This also, I like the idea of the prize being a dream trip wherever you want around the world. I like that aspect. Executive produced by Pat Finn.
Yeah, Rubicon Entertainment.
We forgot to bring that up in our... No, again, that's a spoiler.
Nope. But they had different variations like Scrabble Knockout, Scrabble Babble, Scrabble Slam, and also Speedword. But not the actual Speedword. But they always use Scrabble Flash. I actually have a set of Scrabble Flash cubes that are in Mom's room. She has it. It's okay.
You get Scrabble titles if you win the game, and then that's a help for you in the Scrabble lightning round, where the points go based on the Scrabble tiles and where they're placed.
And plus, it's scrambled, so it plays more like Caesar's Challenge,
which I think is the only Scrabble aspect of this. But also, the theme song was very syndicated game show.
Yeah.
Like Trivial Pursuit America says.
Mm-hmm.
It's a forgetful theme song and a forgetful set. I'm gonna say it right now. I'm pointing at a camera which is not turned on because it's an audio podcast. Game shows, hey, game show industry, stop just doing like a big television monitor and saying that's the game screen. I'm starting to like get finicky about that as a tool. Because that tells me all your production was on a laptop computer. And that means it was done on the cheap. You can do better than that.
Well, I think it's forgivable with a show like America Says. Not America Says, but 25 words or less.
There's at least to write the answer. America Says is Balderdash. Because when America Says, I think Balderdash. I think the list of 10 things, and then you start saying things that don't fit in the category, and that's the comedy. So it works there because you can theoretically, in your mind, picture what the America Says home game would look like.
Mm-hmm.
You get the egg timer, you get the 7 or the 4.
Or the 3 or the 2 or the 1.
And then you just like slide it out. You do the little sliders.
Mm-hmm.
With something like you can't really replicate that for Scrabble Showdown.
No, you can't. I will say that I love the show. I like the format, but I just thought Willman was bad. And
what I like is the don't forget the lyrics name tags around the set. But actually, I do like the final round, though. I think the final round is the best part of Scrabble. Yep. So if I'm watching it, I'm only watching that final part, because there's catch-up, and that's interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
But also the budget, because you're giving away trips around the world every episode.
Well, yeah.
They're guaranteed payouts. So 1 week, it could be London. 1 week, it could be Australia.
Or 1 week, it could just be Florida.
Which is like, you're cheap.
We like you.
We like you. You're fun. You just want to go to New York.
Mm-hmm.
And then the worst part, which I find messed up, which I hate to say, because I feel like this is now becoming my podcast, is they had to explain why.
I don't think you need to explain why.
Well, it's like, I love I want to go there because my grandma, or I want to go there because I like the Big Ben Tower. Something like that's always been said, but it's always like one sentence.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got to think, like, the other team doesn't win the trip. What a letdown.
They might not even win prizes.
They don't get a copy of the Scrabble home game.
Oh, you get a copy of the Scrabble home game. Everybody does. But the team that solves... But at the end of each round, you win a prize. Whoever wins the round, you win a prize.
Which is Hollywood... Which also fits now, I think, about Hollywood Game Night. Yeah. I'm sorry, Family Game Night.
Yeah, it was a family game night style, and I think that was okay. So, now, because he said not family game night, anything not family game night, and I think family game night had a healthy run. It was, 4 or 5 years?
It had a healthy run. I think it was that last season when they became Price is Right, and families just go out of the audience to play.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what did it, instead of just a family versus a family.
Okay. Shit. But even with that, though, it was still a killer show.
It was still a good show. I mean, I like every season there's 2 or 3 new games. If you actually, now you think about it, a lot of games from Hollywood, from Family Game Night, are now like in the mainstream. Scrabble Flash you can still grab at Target. Now I think about it, you can still pick up Sorry Sliders.
Mm-hmm.
And at Dave & Buster's, Connect for Basketball is real.
Yep.
So a lot of the iconic games that came from Family Game Night exist, but it's only the ones that are, actually exciting. I mean, like the Operation Skee Ball game is not. Or what was that Monopoly one where it was just like pick the tile?
Yeah. The new bonus game.
None of that screamed exciting. And then community chess. And I get it. Monopoly is the Star Hasbro board game.
Mm-hmm.
But, hey, Hasbro, you dropped the ball immediately. Because if I'm thinking, what would be a great mystery game show would be Clue.
Yeah, they did that in the UK, by the way.
Wouldn't that have made more sense to make as a game show?
Possibly. But now let's talk about the final one, which was Chop Jr.
It was one season, and then they moved.
Yep. Because the hub was becoming Discovery Family.
Leave it at that. And it was only a few episodes.
It was just like a test market to see if it would fly. And it did.
Because guess what? It turns out kids cooking was kind of novel and cute. And this was before the MasterChef Junior craze, too.
Not only MasterChef Junior, but there's a kids baking championship on every 6 months now on Food Network. Or Chop Junior, or something championship, or kids barbecue championship.
It's just, I like that. And I think it's fun. And I think in terms of these kind of game shows, they work a lot because it's supposed to express creativity to kids.
Yeah.
And if you want to get an engaging show for children, it's really simple. You just make a creative-based game show. Not that difficult. Because if you see a creative-based game show like a Chop Junior, it might engage kids to go into the kitchen and cook. Or it might make them sit back and then watch and go, that looks beautiful. Oh, I would have done this. I wouldn't have done that.
What would you say about a show that invokes imagination through its surroundings?
Also on board.
So something like a Crystal Maze or Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Absolutely. Why else do you think those shows did so well in the 90s?
Mm-hmm.
It sparked imagination for adventurers. This was the peak of the Goonies. They got out of that to the Hidden Temple. It was like a kid's Indiana Jones. It worked. Crystal Maze, it's an adventure-based game show. You go through 4 different zones, and It was not like a game show you saw before where it was in studio, podiums, game board, etc. It was you got to go to this place and physically go to this room and physically open the door and then physically complete this little puzzle.
There's another show that was in the UK that I think that took Legends of the Hidden Temple and bumped it up to the nth degree.
Are you talking about Jungle Run?
Yep.
I think Jungle Run. I love the final round where they have to get the prizes and then get out in time.
Mm-hmm.
That is also good. But the bananas things were kind of just. It felt like I've seen a lot of British games. That's kind of like their point system.
Well, they changed it. That was only the first season. The second season, it was monkey statues.
Monkey statues. And it was, they're fun. And they're very messy. And fun.
Each monkey statue is 10 seconds, except the ruby one, which is worth 20 seconds, and that's only in one game. But it's tough to get to.
It worked. Now, with those kind of shows, it's the theme played an important role. And then you get some sort of engagement with the kids of what they would do.
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing a kids game show, if you're not doing creativity base, you got to go a huge thematic base. Otherwise, it's seen as boring to kids.
A show like Funhouse, I think, would be good with kids today.
It would, because the challenges are thematic.
Mm-hmm.
You are a dog. Go into the dog bowl and look for the bones. The most bones wins. Also, you can't use your hands. You gotta use your mouth.
Or you're playing Dumpo.
We gotta roll the slot machine. You gotta sit in the right spot.
Mm-hmm.
It works. Things like that work because you when it comes to children's programming, you got to have that imagination, that visual. A lot of challenges and tasks nowadays, whether it's Survivor, Big Brother, it really are just bare bones challenges that then get a slight theme. Like Survivor challenges it's a sliding puzzle, but because we're on the beach, it looks like a tiki thing.
Or what they did last week, it was like a flame.
It's a flame. Or if it's Big Brother, it's the sitting on the log challenge. But because it's themed around camping, we're making it look like you're at a tent. Like a thing. It doesn't add any aspect to it.
No.
If you're going to do like a Survivor challenge or a Big Brother challenge, like Survivor it's find the secret word, and the secret word's always something related to the damn show. Immunity, veto, something like that. And I hate that. If we're going into creating a competition, make it feel like this was made just for this moment.
And don't be like Ben from season 35 and have an upside down U.
That's an N. That's an upside down lowercase n.
No, it was actually the U.
It's a horseshoe. No, it was an upside down U.
It was just.
It's like you know what?
And yet he still won the season because he idled himself to the finals.
But you know what? But like the immunity challenge, things like the keep the fire lit challenge. You know, like you have to work as a team to not put the fire out.
Mm-hmm.
That works as a Survivor challenge. I could only see that only on Survivor. Challenges where there's a crate and it's at the bottom of the ocean and you got to grab the ocean equipment and then build something with it. That feels like Survivor. That feels like you're a castaway. What if this emergency shipment arrived? That works.
I'm sorry, I just saw something amazing on Facebook.
Oh no.
Our friends are getting ready for Halloween, and
are you talking about friend of the show, Adam?
Yeah.
Do you want to explain quickly?
He's a whammy.
No kidding. Adam was the whammy.
Like he went all out with cape and red face.
Oh, I don't know. Ooh. And red gloves and a yellow cape and a giant dollar sign.
It's brilliant. Well done, sir.
I'm gonna let him know in a Facebook comment. Stay away from my wallet.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing in my wallet, so it doesn't matter to me.